You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession.
This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Bax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, Jim Chester here coming in from Grand Junction. I have Dr. Pete Goldman coming in once again from the San Francisco Bay Area. And we have some special announcements to make. This guy is coming to you fast and furious. He's going from east to west, north to south. And he's got some events coming up. Next one's coming up in San Diego, which is in October, which is my birthday month, if you guys didn't know. So if you guys want to send me something awesome, my birthday is October 1st. And just pepper my my home address with cool gifts. But Pete, welcome, man.
Well, first of all, thank you. And my birthday's in October too. So if you want to start shopping for my present, I'm a great receiver of gifts. So thank you.
Yeah. What's your birthday, Pete?
25th.
Okay, so I'm the first. So if you guys just want to send Pete and I cool stuff, feel free to.
The problem with shopping for Jim is the old saying, what do you get for a guy who has everything? It's hard to shop for Jim. But if you think long and hard enough, you'll figure out something that'll be acceptable gift.
Thanks, brother. So tell us about this event you have coming up in California. I know that you're teamed up with, is it Dr. Joe?
Yeah. So first of all, I just taught an event last weekend, a couple days ago in LA, in Beverly Hills. It was really good. And I know it's easy to come out of an event and be like, that was great, whatever. But it was a really good event. And we had a lot of sharp docs there who were, I'd say, pretty blown away. So it was pretty amazing. Joe Merlot, correct, is a very well-known chiropractor. And he's one of the 400, and I think we have like 425 people now. He's one of the 425 or so people in Zone School. He's been in for a while, I'd say almost a year. And he was so inspired by what he learned in Zone School that he actually asked me if he could fly up from San Diego to San Francisco and just observe me for a few days in my practice, which he did. And then he said, hey, can I host a seminar? I said, yeah, no problem. My pleasure. So he's hosting a seminar at his practice in San Diego. And the seminar is open to Zone School and non-Zone School members alike. So if you're in Zone School, you can come. And if you're not in Zone School, you can come. And that's going to be in San Diego. And if anyone wants more info, we'll post in the comments like links to sign up for that. And then, as Jim mentioned, we got a few things coming up. November, I think it's like 10th and 11th or so in Hawaii. We'll post the links for that too, in Oahu.
Before I don't want to cut you off, but you're
Sure.
cutting your head off at the forehead. So whatever you're doing with your camera, we're cutting off right here.
Am I good now?
Output. It takes a while for the Facebook Live on the computer or on my phone to show where you're at. Maybe a little bit higher. There you go. Perfect.
I will hold it right there. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, you're just cutting your face in half.
Yeah, no problem. But hopefully everyone heard the audio, which was the most important.
Oh,
part.
yeah.
Cool. So, but thanks for that, and I'll leave it like this. So, as far as the Hawaii one, we have Hawaii coming up in November, also open to Zone School and non-Zone School members alike. And then we're planning on Newark in December. And then 2020, we're talking about Europe again, maybe Sweden, and back to Vegas, back to Chicago, and back to Newark, most likely in 2020. So,
and maybe teaming up with Chiro Hustle for an event.
You're always welcome at my events, and I'll come to any of your events. And then also, I just want to say that as far as doctors coming to observe, it's pretty cool. Like, here's Dr. Joe. He obviously has a successful practice. I mean, he sees a lot of people. He has docs working for him. He's friends with a lot of big names in chiropractic for, whatever that's worth. And he still joined Zone School and still took things to a whole new level. Just ask him. And also, speaking of docs coming to observe, I taught a seminar in Amsterdam, or the Amsterdam area of Holland, recently. And one of the docs there in Sweden was so inspired that he contacted me and said, hey, I just want to fly from Sweden to San Francisco, observe you for 2 days or 3 days, and fly back, which he's doing starting Thursday. So in 2 days, this guy's flying from Sweden to San Francisco, will observe me in the office, I think for 2 or 3 days, and we'll just turn around and fly back to Sweden. So that's the kind of, that's what we're offering. That's the kind of stuff that docs can learn from.
Yeah, something you said there that I just wanted to touch on is a lot of the premier, if you will, popular figureheads of chiropractic are jumping into the zone school. I just spent the weekend with Sean McCaffrey, and that guy is a wizard. And he says he just clears people out all day long, and he's a gifted healer. So let's talk a little bit about some of the people that have actually come through. I know Joe Merlot is one of them, but let's talk a little bit about Sean and how long has he been a part of your group?
Well, it's interesting. Sean, as you said, Sean McCaffrey is in zone school. I think when I use the word blown away, I'm not using that right. You asked Joe Merlot and Sean McCaffrey if they're blown away by what they've learned in zone school. I think they'll both say yes, easily. But anyway, so Sean McCaffrey was already a very successful chiropractor. And interestingly enough, he actually was familiar with some of the principles I'm teaching for various reasons. You could ask him about that, but he told me. And he joined Zone School, and it's putting it together for him in a way that it's never been put together before. And he also asked to come to San Francisco to observe me for a few days in my office, which, of course, I told him no problem. I don't think we made the plan yet for that, but he did ask that. And again, like Jim, I was going to call you Dr. Jim because you're like a doctor to me, but I'll call you Dr. Jim anyway. So like Dr. Jim said, some of the people in Zone School are some of the most prominent chiropractors in the profession, taking things to a level they never even understood before. And some people in Zone School were really struggling. I mean, they were ready to stop practicing, and they joined Zone School, and now they can't wait to go to work every day. And then some people in Zone School were doing some pretty intricate stuff with AK and SOT and applied, chiropractic neurology and functional medicine, and then they joined Zone School and said, "Hey, Dr. Pete, I'm spending 1/10 of a time with a patient now and getting 50 times better results." So we have all kinds of people who anyone with DC after their name should join Zone School, unless you are totally effing thrilled with your practice, really thrilled. Ask yourself, and if you're really confident when someone walks in with just about anything that you can help them, yeah, don't join Zone School, but everyone else should, and it's money back guarantee. So if you don't like Zone School, just get a refund.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things is that you get certainty within your adjusting techniques, and you get certainty within how to analyze what's going on in a person's body. And we're four-dimensional. We have like all these different things going on in our bodies, but a lot of the stuff is above. And I know that so many times people get trapped in some type of a pattern where they don't know that the thought process is actually directly correlated to the nervous system. And I know you guys do a lot of retracing and a lot of unwinding of people's coming of grade school age, where they first start school to where they might have had something happen to them or some type of psychological blockage, that when you start doing the zone technique care, you start to unwind some of these past thoughts and traumas that people have had 25 to 50 years.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I just want to say one thing real quickly, and this I think it's the best question you ever asked me on any interview, and I'm excited to answer it. Just want to say, we don't do retracing. There's no retracing going on. That has its own meaning, but we'll just forget about that. However, the rest of what you said, I want to comment on. It's excellent. First of all, let's just say, like Dr. Jim, calling Dr. Jim today, like Dr. Jim said, he said, let's just say, for example, you have an experience when you're 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7. That's a painful experience. And you're walking around in your life thinking, I'm with a lot of self-condemnation, even self-hatred on some deep down level. You actually hate yourself for whatever reason. It's not your fault, but you felt unwanted. Who knows what the hell it was? But you, even though you're very lovable and the last person that you should be hating is yourself, it's just in there subconsciously, because from birth till 7, your subconscious mind is wide open, and all the things we experience around us from birth till 7, good, bad, and indifferent get accepted as fact by the subconscious. You'll understand that in the zone school. But here's the thing. Patient comes in, they have a lot of anger, a lot of self-hatred, a lot of worry, a lot of jealousy, a lot of envy, and those emotions are tearing their body apart. They have bad digestion, they can't sleep, they have anxiety, they have panic attacks, they have no energy, etc. Now, you're a good chiropractor, you're subluxation based, you're principled, you love chiropractic, and you're adjusting them. You might even get some good results. But let me ask you a question. Chiropractors are very proud of saying, we adjust the cause, we adjust the cause, we adjust the cause, we adjust the cause. We don't treat symptoms, we adjust the cause. I don't know, are you? Because the cause is that when they were, 5 years old, their mother told them they were a piece of shit or something like that. And they're like, damn, I'm a piece of shit. Well, you might be like, yeah, my mom was kind of whatever. But you know what? Your subconscious doesn't know that. And you're walking around thinking like, man, why don't I feel worthy? Why do I not like myself? Whatever. And you can get adjustments all freaking day with the best techniques, the best subluxation relief. It doesn't make much of a difference until that is addressed. Now, if someone's like, well, Pete, that's not really chiropractic. Yes, it is. D.D. Palmer is the only person who can define chiropractic. Nobody. Oh, you have a shirt on. Nobody else can. Nobody else can. And D.D. Palmer talked about. You read his book. I'm not gonna summarize the whole book for you. It's got like 900 pages or something. Read D.D. Palmer's book, Chiropractor's Adjuster, 1910. He talks about physical, mental, spiritual, body, mind, soul, all over that book. True holistic healing, addressing the whole person. So again, someone feels unwanted or disliked or whatever, and they are getting adjusted. You're like, man, why is their digestion so bad? Well, it's still bad because on a soul level, if you want to put it that way, their cells in their body are pretty much disintegrating daily because of what the soul has accepted. However, that can be addressed, and it's all taught in zone school. And guess what? It takes about a minute. I'm telling you, if you understand what's taught in zone school, in 1 minute, you'll save a patient 20 years of therapy and be much more effective. So yeah, Jim, that's a great thing that you brought up. And that's not even talking about the physical part of zone school, which is the zone technique, which is, the brain centers and occipital palpation, which is not SOT, by the way. It's got nothing to do with it, which I want to address in a second, actually. And resetting brain centers, that's all the physical part. But like Jim said, yes, addressing the whole person holistically, real holistically, is important. I just want to say two quick things. The first thing is, a lot of people see my videos, they're like, hey, he's feeling the back of the head. It's like SOT. It's not. Now, by the way, got nothing against SOT. SOT is beautiful. Hallelujah. SOT is awesome. However, SOT has 7 points across the occipital fibers with 3 levels. That's 21 points. Zone technique has 6 points across, not 21, 6. And what the 6 points tell me have nothing to do with what the 21 points tell the SOT practitioner as far as what's going on and what to do about it. So let's forget that. That's number one. Number two, I want to talk about the word holistic. A lot of people use the word holistic, and they use it mistakenly. Like someone might say, I go to a holistic chiropractor, or I am a holistic chiropractor. Oh, that's cool. Why are they holistic? Well, no drugs and surgery, no modalities, just subluxation relief, just their hands and adjusting subluxations. That's holistic. It's not holistic. It's great. I actually love that. Holistic means whole person, body, mind, soul, physically, mentally, and spiritually. If you're doing subluxation relief, hey, good for you. I'm happy for you. If you're doing subluxation relief, that is natural, not unnatural. It's natural physical healing. It's the physical part. The mental and spiritual are not addressed. So again, I'm all for subluxation relief, and it is natural physical healing, but there's nothing holistic about it. Holistic is physical, mental, spiritual, body, mind, soul, and you will learn that in the zone school at the highest level. And I'll just end with this, not so much the interview, but my answer. I'll just end with this. At the end of the day, which I say in every interview, it comes down to results, period. So someone could be like, I'm doing AK, and I am addressing beyond the physical. Okay. Or someone's like, well, I don't think that's part of chiropractic. I'm a CBP doctor. I'm restoring curves, and I'm not really going to talk about the mental and spiritual. Okay, that's good for you. Or someone might say, I'm upper cervical, and if I, actually with the upper cervical, it's affecting ABCD. Fine, fine, fine. Love all you guys and girls. I applaud all of you. At the end of the day, it comes down to results. And as Jim knows, people flying to me from 25 different countries to get adjusted. And I have 100 people driving 4 hours each way to see me. You don't hear about that too much. I don't think you do. People driving 8 hours for 2 minutes with you, 100 of them. I don't think so. Flying in from 25 different countries when they can't heal anywhere else. I don't think so. And other cities, people flying to me from New York, Chicago, etc., Hawaii, whatever, Guam, Japan. So results, results, results. And again, like I said at the beginning, someone's happy with their practice. Please don't join zone school. You're thrilled. You're thrilled. However, you join zone school, you'll take your results to a level that you never even could have imagined before. And you'll be able to help. Listen, people come in with some, supposedly some pretty hardcore stuff. And before you're like, well, I'm not sure if I can help them, but at least we'll relieve their subluxations. It's a good step in the right direction. You're going to have like rock solid confidence. Like, yeah, in your head, you already expect them to get better in the very near future. So those are some things that I could say about zone school.
Well, you said something in your beginning of that whole segment there, and it was principled. How many chiropractors run around, do you think, that say, I'm unprincipled and I don't practice with principle? And what type of what does it mean when somebody is not principled rather than if somebody is principled? And how can we clarify like these people that might have lost their way? And why don't people why aren't they proud when they become unprincipled, if that's a good enough question?
Well, put it this way. This is how I look at it. It's funny. Let's just say there's a subluxation based doc who looks at a doc who's not subluxation based, and they're like, you know what? This person says, I don't even believe in subluxation. I only think that chiropractic's kind of like mechanical and musculoskeletal. I'm just basically a glorified physical therapist. In fact, I don't even adjust hardly anyone. I just do modalities. I mean, as strange as it seems, that actually doesn't even bother me. Like, I know a lot of subluxation-based docs are like, I can't believe those chiropractors even exist. They're a disgrace to our profession. They're ruining chiropractic. I don't even care. I can't, go out and be responsible for what people do. If I really want to get upset, there are people in the Middle East blowing each other up. There's more important stuff to get upset about. If you must, maybe you shouldn't get upset about anything, but if you really want to get upset, just watch the news. You can get upset. A chiropractor not practicing the way you want them to practice, I'm not going to get upset about that. With that as a preface, I will answer the question. People put labels on themselves all the time. They'll say like, I'm principled, or I'm authentic, or I'm doing the real chiropractic. But we already know that from the beginning of chiropractic, it doesn't make sense anyway, because B.J. Palmer called the upper cervical the great specific. And he was kind of back in the 1920s in Texas, the Texas College of Chiropractic in the 1920s. They were doing like the Merrick chart, but they were just cracking every bone. They were cracking S1 to C1. They were just cracking sacrum to atlas, cracking every bone. And the upper cervical specific guys were like, come on, what is that garbage? But Logan was just doing the sacrum and the coccyx, and he didn't agree with upper cervical or the Texas guys. So the Texas guys were adjusting every bone. The upper cervical guys were doing the upper cervical. The Logan guys were doing the sacrum, and they all said, I'm principled, I'm principled, I'm principled, you're doing it wrong. But they all got the same results. They all got their successes, and they all got their failures. So there was no real tangible difference in their results. And by the way, if there's anyone listening saying, well, hey, if I had to pick one, I would take upper cervical over the Texas method. Really? You're just going to crack every bone? Again, I don't crack every bone. I do the zone technique, which is very specific. But Pasquale Cerasoli, who's got to be one of the greatest chiropractors who ever lived, results-wise. I'm not talking about his theories and philosophies. Results. The guy researched Pasquale Cerasoli, one of the greatest chiropractors ever. Results. Watch the YouTube video of him adjusting. He did that. He adjusted every damn bone of the spine. He went from sacrum to T1, adjusted every bone, did the cervical on both sides, did side posture on both sides. Very little analysis from what I could see. It's like people make fun of the flying 7. He was doing a flying 25. But again, he got better results than 99% of these, people saying like, oh, I'm super specific with my upper cervical technique or my chiropractic neurology or my functional medicine. So you got to say, what is it that was really healing with a guy like that? Well, I can tell you, join Zone School, you'll find out. So that's what I think about Principled.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zingit Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
So we have Dr. Zach Lujan that just came in and said, Dr. Pete, can you give a perspective of what a principled healer is?
Well, one of the main things Jim and I have in common, besides both having birthdays in October, is we both love Zach. We both love Zach. Zach's a great dude. He's an awesome dude. So sincerely, Zach is a great guy. I think I was just kind of answering that a little bit, but if you typed that after I answered it, I guess
you did.
I did answer it. Principled, again, it's funny. I'm more interested in results than principled, because if I had a quote principled healer and they got pretty good results and I compared them to an unprincipled healer who got great results, I'll take the latter. I just like results. Like, listen, Jim, if your mother, I know you love your mother. If your mother, God forbid, had terrible migraine headaches, terrible, your mom's like, Jim, my head is killing me. I can't even function. And you knew 2 chiropractors in her town, and one was what you would consider principled, and one was what you would consider unprincipled. But your mom went to the principled first, and she still had migraine headaches every day after a year of principled adjustments. And then she went to the quote unprincipled one, and after 3 weeks, she never had a headache again for the rest of her life. I'd take part 2. I think you would also. So my answer is, principled is, cool. I'm interested in results.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times, and I'm just going to throw this out there because I observe a lot, as you know, and I'm constantly on the move, figuring out new things of what's going on in the profession and who's doing the right things and who's really from the front taking the arrows and on the front lines carrying the torches and the axe and like really paving the way. And what I've come to realize is the healer that doesn't get results has their own headspace issues. And the healer that doesn't get results has their own mental blocks and subluxations. So when it comes to a principled healer, the principled healer has to have their house in order when it comes to chemicals, when it comes to their spirituality, when it comes to their own personal health with living the chiropractic lifestyle, which I call the eat right, think right, move right, and get adjusted. And most of these guys that are either throwing stones or protecting themselves from stones, they aren't getting adjusted regular anyways. So when we want to talk about people that are making opinions or people that have some type of a stance on one side of the line or the other, most of the time when this happens, people are being very judgmental because they don't have their own house in order. They see another guy out there doing really great or a gal doing really great, and they don't know how to give a compliment. So when we think about this profession, we have to think more of it as who is the one that has their house in order and who do I want to have with their hands on me, providing services to me or my mother, as you mentioned. So I think it's not about the actual technique. It's not about the school. It's about the person that's providing the care, having their house in order within their spiritual, chemical, and emotional stances. And they have to be getting adjusted. They have to be eating right. They have to be taking care of their body. And they have to just be a vessel of influence rather than somebody of defiance, rather than somebody that's just like, hey, I don't like that guy because he does it that way. And why is he so busy and I'm so broke? Like those type of curmudgeon like ideas, that's where the system's broken. So if I were to go see somebody, I would want to make sure that the person I'm getting checked and adjusted by on a regular basis had their house in order. So that's where I see this whole principled versus unprincipled versus subluxation based versus unsubluxation, like those people. But when it comes back to like finding the mid road in the center, it's all about the practitioner knowing that they have enough to go around. And you've heard the old saying, Pete, that you can't fill somebody up from an empty cup. So I think we have to come back to the basics again, like Willie Nelson would say. I think, or Waylon Jennings, one of those old country singers, is we have to get back to the basics of loving again. And I think when we think about like old country songs like that, we have to come back to the basics of love. And if we come back to the basics of love, that's when we start to transpire. And that's what causes inspiration rather than degradation. And I think that we've come into this time and age where people want to degrade each other rather than inspire each other. So we come into this ebb and flow of who's right and who's wrong, rather than maybe we're both right. And maybe we should band together rather than realizing that somebody has to be wrong.
Excellent points. First of all, growing up in, being born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, I'm not too up on country music, but I still got your point. That's number one. Number two, I'm not looking for compliments from anyone. I'm looking for people to join Zone School, and you'll thank me later. Trust me. And if I'm wrong, get a refund, but almost no one does. And as far as, people criticizing, there's some quote. I didn't make the quote up, but I saw it. I was like, that's a good quote. Someone said, "Don't worry about." I'm paraphrasing. Don't worry about who likes or doesn't like you. Most people are just trying to like themselves. So you know what? If you like yourself and you're going to sleep at night with a nice smile on your face when you hit the pillow, good for you. But if you're not, and you want to try to tear other people down, hey, good for you. I actually don't care. A lot of people are just like, I don't care. I actually don't care. So if people want to love me or otherwise, that's up to them. I already love myself. I'm good. But you know what? Zone School is what I'm talking about. And that's just something I know can help people. Because really, people can rationalize as much as they want and hide behind their technique or hide behind their so-called philosophy. But all I could say is talk to any of the docs. Talk to Joe Merlot. Talk to any of the docs. Talk to the guy from Sweden, Dr. Henrique, who's coming in 2 days. Anyone who's visited my office, go in my waiting room, right? And ask all the people, what are they there for? You're going to hear miracle after miracle after, not like, oh, I had a miracle once a month. You're going to have miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. Almost every patient who comes to me has been to several other chiropractors, medical doctors, homeopaths, naturopaths. They're still sick. They come and get better. And, Dr. I think it's Dr. Clint Steele, who, I like, nice guy. And in fact, we're going to be talking soon. Clint Steele has been kind of on a movement to show that chiropractic is for more than neck and back pain. And I appreciate and respect him for that. And a lot of chiropractors are like, well, my practice is 95 plus percent neck and back pain, but we have people coming in and their digestion improves and their sleep improves. Hey guys, 80% of my patients on the damn entrance form are coming in for non-musculoskeletal. Like on the entrance form, like why they showed up. Hey, what can I do for you today? Their liver is not working. They want it to work. Their gallbladder doesn't work. They want it to work. They have type 2 diabetes. They have high blood pressure. They have endometriosis. They have panic attacks. That's the chief complaints in my office, with a success of healing rate, which is unparalleled. So you want to practice like that? Join Zone School.
You say so many things with confidence, and I really appreciate that about you. And Clint Steele is an awesome practitioner. He's out there in Maine. He's bootstrapping his way to the top, just like all of us do. And, as I see the different people making moves in this profession, I really do believe that the person with the more abundance, see, these are old concepts that I've been toiling over for years now, but there's this whole idea of having abundance, and there's this other idea over here of having scarcity. And back to what I was saying about the practitioner having their house in order, so many times people are trying to give service and care to people when they don't have the abundance. So whether in their zone school or whether they're teaching your kids at school, like that person that is going to be interacting with me, when I go into like a restaurant, people know this about me. I'll typically ask for who's the best waiter in the house. That's who I want taking care of me. Like, I don't let them just randomly sit me with people. Like I want to say to the person, the host or the hostess saying, hey, when you sit me, please sit me with the best waiter in this whole restaurant, because I want the person at peak state that's going to be taking my order, that doesn't deliver three things at once, that knows that there's a timing when you do sit at a table, that you get this at this time on point, you get this at this time on point. So when we think about the procession of how things are supposed to be done, I like to deal with people that come from a really strong sense of like peak state and abundance. And that's what I know Zone School delivers to the people that come in and get taken care of by these doctors. I love the fact that you like to call it treating, because you do treat people and they are your patients. So let's get back to the basics again, is it is treatment provided to a patient. And that's the tenets of what D.D. Palmer built the establishment on. So anybody that came after him has definitely manipulated what the whole system was founded on. So we have to go back to, like you said, the chiropractor adjuster 1910, and then we come to realize that everything that we have done from that past 124 years has been assimilation of the foundation. So now we have this assimilation of the foundation. But back to what I was saying, I only want people taking care of me, man, and serving me and like sitting me and doing the right things that are at peak state. And I know that's what Zone School provides to people. And I just love to be able to talk organically with you about those topics. I'm sure you have something to segue in for, but let's talk to people after you segue in about your events coming up in October, November, and December. I know you're going to California. I know you're going to Oahu, and I know you're going to be going to Jersey. So let's talk about these events that you have coming up. But what do you have to think? What do you think about what I just said?
Well, first of all, whether people join Zone School or not, at least you know how to go to a restaurant now. That's fun. Number two is, like Jim said, Jim's always right on the money. Obviously as chiropractors, we don't treat or diagnose disease. We don't treat symptoms. However, like Jim was alluding to, D.D. Palmer, I mean, he's the founder. So no one else besides D.D. Palmer can define chiropractic. They just can't. And D.D. Palmer, in his book, Chiropractor's Adjuster in 1910, he had a 55-page glossary of diseases and the symptoms and what bone to adjust to fix them. So the whole notion that you can't talk to patients about symptoms, I mean, you can do whatever, practice however you want, but it's not chiropractic. I don't know what that is. But D.D. Palmer was like, oh, you have epilepsy. That's freaking adjust T9 spinous left or whatever it is. It's listed in there. So, of course, like I said, I'm a chiropractor. I don't treat disease. I don't diagnose disease. I don't treat symptoms. I balance zones and then people heal. And of course, the power that made the body heals the body. I'm all down with all that stuff. But the notion that you can't discuss now, it's 2019. You have to be careful what comes out of your mouth, as far as staying within certain parameters. But with that said, discussing symptoms and listening to and discussing symptoms with patients, that's chiropractic 101. That's D.D. Palmer. 55-page glossary. Here's the disease. Here's the symptoms. Here's the bone to adjust to fix it. So that's that. And as far as the events, to go into that, like Jim said, and we'll post in the comments. I will post in the comments. 2 weeks we have San Diego at Joe Morlow's practice, and then early November is Hawaii. Come to Hawaii, have a good time. And then December, I don't have the links for that yet, but that's planning for Newark. I think the first weekend in December. And then we have a lot of other stuff. And these, if you're in the Zone School, good. I'll post a link for that too, or Jim will. And if you're not in the Zone School, fine. So you can join the Zone School, start learning. And I'll just say this, when you join the Zone School, it works like this for the online Zone School. Let's say, Jim can post a link. You join the Zone School. As soon as you sign up, you get lifetime and immediate and lifetime access to, let me figure this out, 35 hours of me teaching on video. Then you get 8 weeks every Sunday, 1:30 Pacific, 8 weeks of live Q&A mentorship calls with a lot of your fellow students. Ask me whatever you want. That's interactive. After that, we have a certification. We have advanced programs. We have videos, extra event videos, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that's the Zone School, and we have 400 plus people who are thrilled around the world, getting results they never thought they could get before. And then we do have the live events, which are kind of supplemental, which are open to Zone School and non-Zone School members.
So I know that you just touched on the locations of the events and everything. If you guys are on here watching right now, please give this a share so people know how to get into the Zone School. If you guys are finding value in this, hashtag value in the comments there. And if you guys love what we're doing, hit that heart button and smash that heart button and give us some love. And just give us a quick check-in too. Message us in the comments there. Tell us where you're watching in from. I know Michael Daly, you're coming in from Scotland. Nima Romani, I don't know where you're coming in from because you're always in a car somewhere. You're going to an airplane. Kava Eloquan, I believe I said your name the right way.
Winnipeg.
He's in Winnipeg. Okay. And then Zach, I know you're in Iowa. So just comment in where you guys are watching in from. And share this video as much as you can. And just if you find value, like I said, hashtag value. And if you're watching this on replay, just let us know that you watched this after we were live and hashtag replay in the comments there. Dr. Pete, as always, man, it's been an honor to have you on. I think we're going to break some records with the next year working with each other. And I think over the past my 40th year on Earth, I had you on as a guest more than any other human on Chiro Hustle. So
all I can say is smart.
You are the champion of hustle on my 40th year on planet Earth. And hopefully I know great things will be coming because we come from a place of abundance and not in scarcity. And all we do is deliver the goods and we rise people up rather than tear them down. So Dr. Pete, I want you to have a brilliant rest of your day out there in the Bay Area. And I'm going to go out there and train my butt off and head out to Vancouver very soon.
I think you said you didn't know where Nima is. I think Nima is in Vancouver, so maybe you guys can meet up.
Yeah, maybe I'll see him. I'm going to go up and do Dr. Ed Osborne's Men of Iron up in Victoria on the island. So I'm going to become a man of iron after this weekend, Dr. Pete. Good. So you'll see some changes in me. And Josh Longo, thank you for commenting in. You were with us the whole time. So love and appreciate you, brother. You did a great job on your live today as well. And Dr. Pete, I'm going to sign off for now. Okay.
Thanks, Jim. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you soon.
Okay. You guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. We'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.